a tricky-ish one about working out the size of a sound file. So the things we need to remember is we've got 25,000 hertz, it's saying here, as the sample rate. Sample rate hertz is per second, so it's 25,000 samples per second. We've got 8 minutes, so we've got to convert minutes to seconds. So 8 times 60 is 480 seconds. So that's the number of seconds. So 480 is getting a big calculation times 25,000. Well, we don't have a calculator, and if we're struggling a bit, then we can just do 48 times 25, and we can do it in our old long multiplication, the way I used to do it. You might do it a different way. So we add them together. And so we've got 12, but then we've got to add our extra noughts on. So add the noughts on that we've got here. So we get 6 noughts, so we've got 12 million. So 12 million, and that is samples. So we can write that down as samples, because that's hertz is per second. We've got 480 seconds, and we've got 12 million samples. Each of those samples is 4 bits. So we need to times that by 4. So we end up with 48 million bits. So again, we've just times 12 by 4, or 4 by 12, get 48, and then we've added our noughts on. In this case, we've got 48 million bits. So the question asks us not to do bits, but it asks us to do it in megabytes. So the first stage to get to megabytes is to get to bytes, and we know there are 8 bits in a byte. So 48, we're going to divide by 8. It gives us 6, and we've still got our noughts to add on. So we've got 6 million bytes. So 6 million bytes, we're getting close, but we need it in megabytes. So if we divide 6 million by 1,000, so we're going to knock off three noughts there, we end up with 6,000 kilobytes. So we're getting closer. So then to get from kilobytes to megabytes, we need to divide by 1,000 again. So we're going to knock off those 3, and we end up with 6 megabytes. So I'm just writing those down to make sure that the examiner knows exactly what I'm doing. 6 megabytes, and the answer is 6 megabytes, and you get 4 marks for that. If you didn't manage to get 4 marks for it because we made a mistake somewhere, and it's fairly easy to do that on this, you're going to get a mark for some of the working. So if you identified the first bit there, you would have got a point. So it's a mark just for identifying that it's 8 minutes times 60. You're going to get a mark for timesing that by 25,000. So even if you work that out incorrectly, if you times correctly by 25,000, there's a mark to be had there. If you times a number by 4 anywhere, in fact, you'll get that. If you divided something by 8, there's a mark to be had as well. If you arrived at 6 million bits, that would get you a mark. So there's several ways of getting marks on this, even if we didn't quite get this bit correct. But the thing to remember, I guess, on this is to take your time to think about the units, and I think it's a good idea to write the units down after each number so that you know what that number is representing and you're not getting confused. And if you're faced with a big number like this and you're finding that tricky to work with, then just work with the numbers on the end and then add the noughts on. That works absolutely fine.